Howdy everybody. Just going to, I don't know if that's maybe the best spot or not.
Yeah, go ahead, I'll adjust it.
All right. I think we're good. Everybody, thanks for joining in. If you are watching the live, just confirm that you can hear us, please.
Phil in England says, here at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Oh my gosh, I love it, Phil. That's so awesome. Well, hey guys, welcome to the live. We are insanely busy.
Yeah.
It's nuts. I got something stuck in my pocket. Yeah, it's been super crazy. We leave for Tucson in 6 days. So today is Saturday. We leave next Saturday morning, and we have so much to do in this time. So the Rebel video number 1 of the build came out today. We're just wrapping it up tonight. That's the goal, is to hopefully do an engine run tonight. Fingers crossed that works out. We still have another Rebel to finish, the Rebel Classic for Stacy. So that is on the table behind Ward. Ward's manning the camera tonight. It's pretty quiet in here. We don't have a Russell. We don't have a Katie. It's subdued.
Yeah, just
relaxing.
Us.
Working away.
Yeah,
like crazy.
Away and putting in long hours.
So we've got lots of fun stuff that's happened over the past 2 weeks. Super Bandit is sort of done. We still have the, and you guys on the live are getting the first view of this. We have the bypass cover to install. We'll take a closer look in a little bit on that. The video number 1 of the Rebel Pro came out today, and we're wrapping it up now. Just gonna fix the TV here so I can see what's going on. Let me just fix this.
And hello for everybody from Tasmania. Nice to see you in. I missed a lot of people who were checking in.
Yeah, if you want to just review the comments while I'm just checking on this thing. Here we go.
Everybody says it's loud and clear. Everything's
Perfect.
all good.
And let's make sure we can get the comments up here. Successfully connected.
Yep.
How do we get the...
And we've jumped up to 32 people, so that's great.
Nice.
And don't forget the thumbs up, guys. And girls, if there's any out there.
This is always that one... Oh, there we go. Live chat. Yes.
Hello from Oregon. Great. Nice to see you. We've been fighting with a snowstorm the last day. It's very cold outside.
Think this is going to work?
Yep.
View live stream now with live chat. Well, come on. Jeepers.
Yeah,
oh, there we go. Now it's working.
There you go. He's trying to figure this all out.
Hey, David. Tord, how are you?
Good.
Nice. There we go. From the therapy room. Nice. So this is, as I started off, this is our second Rebel that we have to finish. So this is my friend Stacy's. This is also coming down to Tucson with us. We've done a bunch of pre-work on this thing, so the fuselage is painted. There won't be any videos on this. It's exactly the same Bluetooth setup that we've done on David's Rebel Classic, my Rebel Classic. So it's essentially the same plane. The only difference is we're using a Swiwin 140 instead of the Zykoy 132. So that's the next thing to do this week and to finish up, which is good.
And hello from the UK.
Awesome.
Walter is back.
That's Phil. Walter Mitty.
Walter Mitty, yeah.
Yeah, so we've got the Rebel Pro. The goal for tonight is to test run the engine. In lieu of time, I'm only probably going to do the live tonight, maybe for 1 hour. We'll see how it goes. I think I said that last week. Ward reminded me.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we just got a bunch done today on the Rebel Pro. Yesterday worked 16 hours on it. Today, basically, I've started at 9 o'clock this morning, and it's 7 o'clock now. So it's 10 hours so far on this Rebel Pro. It's been a really cool airplane to put together. We're doing the same Bluetooth setup. The Super Bandit behind me in all of its glossy form. So this is our bypass cover. You guys are getting the first view of this, and it is stunning. We do have to do some fitting with it. So we've got to do the little cutouts for the rabbit ears and stuff, but it turned out so nice.
That is beautiful.
So thank you, Jeremy, our painter, for doing this. Super cool. Very, very cool. When you see it inside the fuselage too, maybe here, let's take the hatch off and we'll show everybody what it looks like.
Getting a lot of amazings
Yeah.
from everybody. You can't just it's just wow. It's even better when you see it up close.
So it's not fit all the way, obviously. It's got to sit down further because of the little ears that we have to sand out, but that is so cool. I love it. Looks awesome. So that's one of the final things we have to do on the Super Bandit, and we have to do a little bit of a clear coat touch up on the nose, which we'll talk about in the last video. But yeah, everything's done with the Super Bandit in real time. For video time, there'll be one more video on this coming up probably either this Wednesday or next Saturday. We'll see how things go.
Fantastic.
So Rebel Pro, we'll dive right in. If you guys have any questions while we're going through this, make sure you ask away. Oh, the other thing, I never really did the summary. Basically, we've just been working like crazy for the past 2 weeks on getting planes done, so really not a whole bunch going on. I did order my BDX. That's official, it's ordered. If you saw the scheme, it is so cool. Thank you, Elite Aerosports, for putting the scheme together for me. It's the lighter side of RC scheme. It turned out so cool. So that's officially on order. Don't know when it's gonna show up, we'll see. Yeah, so that's pretty much the past 2 weeks has just been working like crazy. And yeah, I think that's about it.
I guess you didn't get any questions asked online, eh?
Oh yeah, no online questions from email. Oh, the other thing I was going to touch on is in today's video for the Rebel Pro, last live, somebody brought up doing like a class type setup. I had a conversation with him last week and his ideas were great. So if you are interested in what we're going to call the master class, it's going to be in person and it's going to be here at the shop. We don't know any more details than that right now, but that's the theory behind it. It's going to be limited to 8, maybe 12 people, somewhere in that range. It's probably going to be an entire Saturday and half of Sunday, and we'll probably do it closer to spring, summer. So if you're traveling to Canada and you want to spend some extra time up here, it's beautiful. Obviously, it's going to be a paid thing, and you'll essentially have a day and a half of my uninterrupted time, and we're going to review a bunch of things, mainly whatever the people that are coming into the class want to learn. So, you know, if you guys want to spend an hour learning how to crimp servo lines, that's what we'll do. Yeah, so if you are interested in the master class, shoot me an email, I'll add you to the list, and when we've got all the details sorted out, then I will include you on that email chain. If we limit it to 10 people, the first 10 people that pay for the class, that's it. It's going to be very small. We don't have tons of room in here for 20 people. It would be cool to have 20 people in here, but we just don't have space in the shop. I know it kind of appears big on TV, but you know, 1,000 square feet gets pretty small pretty quick, especially when you got a big F-14 here. That's what I wanted to talk about. So the Rebel Pro is very much near completion. We've been working away 2 days on this thing and it's looking awesome. Maybe I'll work the camera here.
What?
And I'll give you guys a bit of a tour here. Yeah, Kyle, bigger than your shop? Well, I wish it was 2,000 square feet. So we're going with the Bluetooth setup, as we call it. So what's the Bluetooth setup? Well, that's our little running joke of nothing is visible. So when you look in the turbine section, this is done. This plug here is for the GSU. We can take that out. I'm going to leave it plugged in, but that's the Bluetooth setup. So there's nothing in the back end. And when you look in the front end, we still don't have our antennas run yet. But there's our airplane.
There's nothing in it.
There's nothing in it. Now, most people, when they build these Rebels, they pack the top here with all of their stuff, right? So you have your UAT up here, all your craps up here, and it looks terrible. Well, that's how we build our Rebels at the lighter side of RC. So it's nice and clean, and everything is hidden underneath there. And it's actually still pretty stinking clean with the way we organize the wires. So I'm happy with everything. Now the reason we put the gear controller up top here is simply because if you want to make any adjustments, you need access to the screen, and there's no data terminal or anything you can plug in here. So that's why we made this flush mount. I designed this, printed it up. This is, what is this? White ABS or PETG, I think, one of the two. Anyways, looks awesome. David, you said, I'm building a Skymaster Extreme Cougar. What servos do you recommend and what gauge wire for the servo leads? I'm running 7.4 battery SWE 180. Thanks for the input. Good question. For that size turbine, if I was building that size aircraft, I would put MKS 9930s in it. That's just my preference. You could get away with the 1220 high voltage ones, so that's what we have in the nose. For example, that's the servo we use most common in the nose of aircraft, unless it's big, heavy scale stuff. So this Rebel, as an example, has 9930s everywhere, 1220 on the nose. With that smaller aircraft, you could easily get away with 1220s everywhere and be totally fine with it. If you wanted to save weight, there's another option, which we did on our Rebels. So this is what I did on my Rebel Classic. This is what we did on the Voodoo Rebel Classic. So this is the 599 SL. Amazing servo. Absolutely awesome when you're trying to save weight. Excuse me, guys. So if you think about this, you know, here's the 9930 and here is the 599 SL. So when you actually weigh these things out, you can save so much weight by going with the 599 SL. On smaller aircraft, it's totally fine. Let's weigh these things and I'll show you. Regarding your question on the wire, we basically use Powerbox Maxi wire for pretty much everything. You can use the standard wire as well too. It really is going to be on that kind of size of aircraft, it's going to be totally fine. So the regular MKS servo weighs 80 grams and the 599 SL, weighs 53. So if you're talking about 8 servos at 30 grams each, you're basically saving half a pound on an aircraft if you go with these things, which is pretty substantial on a smaller aircraft, right? So yeah, that's some of my suggestions for you.
And Echo Smoke wants to know if you're taking your new V3 pump to Tucson.
It's on the list, Joe. I've got a big to-do list over there. I know it may seem kind of silly, like it's only an hour to put the new pump on there. I am, as long as I can switch it out. That's the big concern. So we got, oh yeah, I talked about this last live. So it's still sitting here in the box. Joe's pump system from RC Custom 3D printing. Looks awesome. I totally want to get this installed so I can take it down there and show everybody. We've also got one there for David as well too. So I will definitely do my best to find time to put that thing on. All right.
Okay.
Yeah, so if you guys have any other questions, as we go through this, let us know. Our battery holders here, we just high-soled them in a couple hours ago, so they're still sort of wet. Yeah. What we can do is we can probably take this plane down. Let's fill it up with fuel and see what the capacity is. So maybe we want to put it right on the edge of the bench here.
Yeah, just kind of see how I can.
Sorry about the jiggly camera, guys. We're doing our best.
Down a little bit to get it in there for. There you go.
There we go. That should work. All right, so we're going to pop this guy on the ground.
I'll take the butt.
Okay.
That'd be you're close to the camera. Everybody
If we want to just let's just lift it up, and then I'll pull the stand out of the way.
Okay. And up.
Okay, we'll go down. We did already do the CG on this plane, and that's why we ended up putting the batteries where we put them. yeah, everything worked out really nice.
And it was right on the tee. Right on the tee.
Yeah, I think it's going to work out where we don't have to add any weight at all. So, all right. So if you want to man the camera again, I'm going to fill this guy up. So the first thing we'll do is just fuel capacity.
Okay.
And then we can also program the Zykoy stuff. So we filled the UAT for the CG check. And now...
Somebody wants to know about the fuel bags. They're not legal for us, are they?
They just got approved in the US.
Yeah.
They're not approved in Canada yet. I mean, it'd be wicked if we do get them approved. But as of right now, we don't have that as an option here in Canada. It's only the US that just got approved. All right.
Flight Systems wants to know, what did the weight end up being?
Ooh. That's a good question. I think it was, with no fuel in it, I think it was 34 pounds maybe?
Yeah, that sounds familiar. We
I
really
think.
didn't.
We just quickly looked at it.
Yeah, we weren't really paying much attention
No.
to it.
It was more about getting the battery placement and stuff, but I think it was maybe 34 pounds, somewhere in that range, I believe. The lights, we haven't even powered the lights up yet, so we can power the lights up too and check them out. We just got them installed. We just haven't done any powering yet of stuff. So, okay, so we're hooked up. We're open. Start.
We're up to 53 people watching
Nice.
and 19 thumbs up. We need some more thumbs up, people. And of course, a lot of people want to see that new casing for the fuel pump.
Okay, I'm just going to hook up the taxi tank so we don't spill everywhere. There we go.
And Tricky Ricky wants to know what a good radio would be for somebody's on a budget.
A Jetty DS16 would be my choice. 16 G2. That would be my first suggestion, but if you're thinking less than that, I mean, I don't know. You really have to look at it from a perspective of what you're flying most often. You know, if you're just getting into flying and you're starting off with a lot of foamies where you're bind and fly and stuff, then Spectrum kind of makes the most sense. But long term, something that has more functionality will be a better long-term radio for you. So
That's something that's why I bought my Jetty.
exactly.
Because I'm going for the long term. I'm going to probably have more different types of planes, and the Jetty is the perfect one for
Yeah.
me. Plus, that's what Jonathan uses here, so it's easier to join up.
Yes. So as I'm filling this for the first time, I'm just checking things over, making sure we're not leaking fuel all over the place, but the tank held pressure for 24 hours, so we should be just fine.
Zidwell wants, he can't wait to get his new pump installed.
Nice.
Yeah, a few guys here. Yeah, do order those pumps. They're really nice. And
What did David say? I think so too. Jonathan used the Power Model oil.
yeah,
What's that?
Sheldon Campbell, are you using Power Model oil? It
Yes,
looks great.
I am using Power Model oil. It does stain everything, so all your tubes and everything turn green, but it's been great oil so far. and a lot of good response from Sweewind engines. I like it because it's green and it also smells nice too. Has a bit of a minty smell to it. This is a big tank. So we're at 3
Doug
liters.
wants to know, do you do any special programming? Oh, come on. Thing fades out on me all the time. Programming a working canopy and tail hook so you don't have an accidental in the air with the canopy opening.
Yeah, with Jetty you have that option to put whatever conditions you want. Like let's say the canopy opening, you could set various conditions where you have to have your landing gear down, your turbine at idle or below, your flaps at full. I mean, you could set as many conditions really as you want.
And the same thing goes for tail hook?
Yeah, tail hook, same thing. I mean, you basically can make whatever conditions you want with the Jetty radio, where it'll only operate when those conditions are met. You kind of just have to be creative with it.
Okay, is there a standard measurement for how far the end of the exhaust?
Who's asking the questions, if you don't mind saying as well?
Audra Bartholomew? Excuse me for the mispunctuations of the names. Wants to know the exhaust nozzle on a Sweewind turbine is from the operating of the tailpipe when installing the engine.
Good question. I will answer that in a moment. I'm just taking care of the fuel here. We're almost at the end.
And wants to know, is it specific to the model?
It's more specific to the model than anything else. Okay, so we are at 4.7 liters. Perfect. So 4.7 liters on the tank. I'll show you in a diagram what is specific. It's not really turbine specific, it is model and tailpipe specific. So there's basically two different systems. You have your standard system, which as an example is what we have on this Rebel Pro. So you've got a kind of a small entry point to the pipe like that. It is carbon in this case, and this carbon piece joins to the metal tailpipe. So what you want to do is you want about 30 millimeters from the end of the metal. Now the carbon itself comes about this far in, and then you've got bolts holding this stuff together. So you want to measure from the end of the metal tailpipe about 30 millimeters to your exhaust cone on your turbine. So that's the standard. 25-30 is a good number. You don't want to go from the end of the carbon or the end of the small bell mouth. That would put your turbine too far away. Disadvantage of having your turbine too far away is you risk having exhaust gases go outside of the pipe. The disadvantage of having the end of the turbine too far in is you risk not having enough airflow coming into that pipe. So it's a fairly specific number to about 25 to 30 millimeters is the norm. Now the other system you see very commonly is the big bell mouth. So here's your metal pipe, this is your metal bell mouth, could be carbon as well too. And again, you've got an overlap here, but that overlap no longer matters when you've got a big bell mouth. What you want to do is you want to measure this bell mouth from the end of the pipe, and usually it's around 3 inches is pretty common. And sorry, this is upside down, I couldn't draw this the other way around. So what you want to do is you want to take that distance, so if it's 3 inches, you measure in 1.5 inches, and that's where you want your tail cone. So 1.5 inches is roughly 42.5 millimeters. So you'd want your turbine tail cone to be at that halfway point. So that's usually the way you do it on the big bell mouse. The big bell mouse, you've got a little bit more leeway, but halfway is a good number. And that comes, if you look at the Germania pipe website, that comes directly from their pipe information, which uses the big bell mouth. But good question, a very common question. A lot of people ask that question. And I remember back to when I got started in turbines, it was a very confusing thing. So, okay, so I'm going to pull some fuel out of here so we're not overflowing. So we'll go out, manual, start.
Did you, Jonathan? Did you?
Not yet.
Okay. Now we've got 55 people watching and of course 26 thumbs up, which is great. Start spreading the news. We're going to do a run on this thing.
Start spreading the news.
The turbine is going to run. Sorry we don't sing very well.
Speak for yourself, old man.
I don't know how it is, you know, it's just... And the dark team is really showing up.
Huh?
The dark team. Paul saying hello, John, from the dark team.
All right, so we've pulled about, well, we pulled a liter of fuel out. Okay, so that's good.
Audra says, thanks, guys. She's building a T1
Nice.
Mini Hawk. They
Awesome.
don't specify in the instructions.
Yes, it's not really a common thing anymore, I find, for turbine manufacturers, aircraft manufacturers. A lot of them don't talk about that stuff anymore. I think maybe because there's so many variations, but I don't know, that's just a guess. Okay, so we've got fuel in the system. Programming we don't need to do on camera, but we can do the programming of our telemetry on the turbine. So what I'm talking about specifically is getting the fuel volume added to our system. So let's do that. We need to plug our batteries in for the first time. This is all very stressful. Usually we would do the test run before we do it on the live, just in case something bad happens. So you guys are getting like first-hand, whatever you want to call it. So if it's good or bad, well, that's just the way it is.
First-hand yeehaws or uh-oh.
Yeah. Oh, craps. Okay, so that's good. We'll just tuck these guys beside because we don't want to use those battery trays yet.
Hamilton Hangers
Yeah.
just wants to say thank you. Where are we here? For all your tips
You're welcome.
that he has learned in a short time.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate it.
He says you do more in the short times that you... Come on, here we are. Come on. Yeah. Praises the lighter side of ourselves for being so simple and straightforward.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Okay, so we're going to do, and interrupt me, Ward, if people chime in, that's totally fine. We're going to do two things here. We're going to, number one, turn the airplane on, which sounds dumb, but it's fairly stressful for the first time. We've had the plane on, but not in this current configuration. All of our battery leads we just ran before we started the live, so we're going to turn the plane on. We're going to prime the fuel system, and then we're going to program the fuel system. So let's do that. So standard with Jetty, everything is done from the radio. So we've got our gear.
Seabart Aviant Mini.
Avante.
And the Avante and the 2.0.
Nice.
Have you seen it?
The little Avante?
Yeah. And the 2-meter versions. And
No,
what's your opinion on them?
I've seen the foamies and the bigger one. Okay, let's turn this on.
No real opinion on them? On the 2-meter one? He's asking about what do you think of the 2-meter one?
2 meters is a good size. It's a good size airplane because it's very portable. There we go. Well, nothing blew up, so that's a positive.
Yep. Did you fly the MB339?
I didn't. It's actually on the way to its owner. It's in FedEx shipping right now. So I'm assuming he will be flying it very soon. I think he's actually on the live right now. It's Grommet V. Okay, so we're gonna go to
Katie's saying hi because she's saying, "Who's that handsome man on the screen?"
Who, Katie?
Yeah.
Oh, she's watching?
Yeah, she's on the live.
Nice. Hi, honey.
62 people and 31 thumbs up.
Okay, so we're going to turn the restart. All I'm doing when I go in here, guys, I'm turning the restart mode on. Just getting all the little adjustments done. So that's done. Going into the info setting. Test starter. Starter works. Test glow plug. Prime pump. Here we go.
Hamilton says he has a 50cc size T27 Tucano coming from Genavar, Brazil.
Cool. What are you putting in there for power?
Yeah, come on. I lost my screen here.
Fuel capacity, we were at, what was it? 4.7, 5.7?
5.7, I think it was. Did you write it down?
No. Who remembers on the live chat what our fuel capacity was? 4.7 or 5.7? 4.7?
Yes. David said 4,700, 4.7.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, so fuel is set to kerosene, which is correct. Voltage, awesome. Okay, so that's done. Everything's primed. That's good.
I'm going to trim this.
I'm going to do, here, let's do a gear check here for everybody. If you want to go around to the back end.
Yep.
There we go. So we'll do a full gear cycle here. Oh, we need to check the lights too.
Yeah.
Hold on, let's check the lights. Ha! There we go.
Awesome.
First time the lights are on. So the lights we installed on here, Sky Candy landing lights. Super cool. There we go. Yeah, thanks, Sal. Sal is on here, guys. Flight Systems RC is Sal from Sky Candy Landing Lights. That is super cool. Looks awesome. It's a nice, simple lighting setup. We basically have our marker lights on the side, our landing lights on the mains, and that is everything. So I think the landing lights are set up on the gear channel right now. So let's see how this works. Okay, so let's go up when you're ready.
Yeah, just get myself in a position here for that. Okay.
Good?
Yep.
Okay, and our nose, I'm just gonna make sure it's straight. Looks straight. Yeah, so gear turns the lights off. Perfect. And then marker lights on our wingtips, those are on a switch. So, and then our gear down, the lights are going to come back on. Perfect. And then we can turn all the lights off if we just want to with our switch. Man, those things are bright. I can't see anything. All right, so that is very cool.
You got to clear out some of this area here.
Yeah, we got to move our lights there. Let's look and see what we got here.
I'm going to move this plane over here a little bit before I can.
Yeah, this 195 is going to be very fuel efficient, so 4.7 liters is plenty of fuel for it. Just reading the comments here, guys. Michael, you asked about the side slip when braking. So one of the differences with the Electron setup, if you're familiar or not familiar, so you can go setup, brake. Now the pulse ratio here controls like anti-lock brakes as an example. So if we go to higher pulse ratios, it pulses more. So what happens is 1 to 1 pretty much will lock up. You can go to like 1 to 5 and check it there. You can also adjust the limit on the Electron controller as well. So lots of functionality.
David wants us to turn off the shop lights to show him the lights.
Oh yeah, we'll do that. Yeah, I actually don't know how much snow's outside of our door too, so that could be a problem. Hamilton's Hangar, we are going electric this route with Elite 60 from Jetty, loving the telemetry that is offered with the ESCs. Yes, the nice thing about the Jetty stuff is the full functionality, full gamut of everything working together is really nice with Jetty. So we're doing a Bronco as well too for Kyle, and the Bronco is going to have the Meson Jetty ESCs, which is also awesome. Super nice. So let's see, what else do we got here? Turn the shop lights off and try. Yes, we will. No gear doors, no gear doors. On the Rebel, no gear doors. Okay, so let's take a look at our lights with the shop light off if you want to check that.
Yeah.
You're going to do the light or
I'll do
the
the lights
big
here.
light? Okay. All right, so here's the landing lights.
Want to get the other lights?
No, they're not on a switch.
Okay.
There we go. Camera doesn't never displays this properly, guys, but the lights are
Very bright.
very bright. Yeah, they're pretty stinking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, the camera doesn't do it justice.
Cool. All right, so
They
I
are
think it's
awesome.
time for a test run. So
Okay, just back her up.
just pop the camera up here. So we're going to have you guys back here for the first run of this thing. We also need to set our other camera up. I totally forgot about that. So for example, right now we put it the brakes on 1 to 5, I think. And they don't lock up, they just like anti-lock brake, they vibrate. So that works awesome. Okay,
I'll get the ear
so we're
defenders.
good there. How cold is it outside?
Minus 17.
Oh, so we might need a hoodie, hey?
Yeah, I think we should get a sweater on of some sort.
All right. So strip off the aprons, get some hoodies. Get some of everybody else over here. So we're not just staring at nothingness. Watch us strip our aprons off.
Yeah. Dun, dun,
Bow,
dun,
bow,
dun,
bow.
Okay. And you want to set your other camera up?
Yeah, I'll get my other camera all geared up.
And your mic's on the table, so.
All right, so it's insanely cold outside. So we are going to start this thing up. Open the door. Okay, we got our other mic for our regular camera.
Yeah, it's minus 19 and it feels like minus 28.
Yeah.
And that's the Celsius,
Celsius.
people, not Fahrenheit, the wussy temperature. I'm going to get the door control.
All right, guys, well, we've done some good stuff here with the airplane. We've got the tank full of fuel. Checked the capacity. We programmed the capacity into the Zykoy telemetry unit. We went through all the settings and made sure we were happy with the settings. And it's time to test run this engine. So we have primed the system, but it is very likely that we've got air in the UAT and also the fuel line. So I wouldn't be surprised if the first start is a failed start. And like we experienced with the Super Bandit, it's going to suck through a lot of air as we go through that first start. So we're just going to take it a little bit slow at first and let it get rid of all the air. So just be aware of that. I'll put up on screen here what's happening while we go through the test run. Also, the restart's been turned on, so we'll check that as well too.
Okay, so I'm going to get the camera changed for that. Okay, just got to lower this down.
If you want to man the camera, I can do everything else.
Okay,
Okay?
I'll give you these.
Just pop them down there.
Okay.
Okay, so that's on and recording. Just gonna grab my fire extinguisher. And there could be a lot of snow built up on that doorway. I don't know.
Oh, this will clear it out.
Yeah. We'll see how things go. All right, so our GSU is there. Okay. Yeah. A little bit of snow. Should probably shovel that off. Nez isn't out here, right? She's inside? Yeah, she's inside. Commercial break time.
I think you should just turn the engine on, blow it away, but he doesn't want to put any holes in his garage.
Yeah, we've been blasted with winter again yesterday and today. And then later next week, this coming week, it's supposed to be in Fahrenheit in the 40s and 50s. And in Celsius, we're supposed to be about +8.
Yeah, Ron Wendell said you should put a tubular hole inside your door.
Yeah. All right. Let's try this again. Here we go. Brr. All right, trim up. Starting. Go back a little bit. Brakes off. Brakes on.
Up to 71, 70 people now, with 36 thumbs up.
Oh, it may go. Oh, I thought we weren't going to make it, but it looks like we are.
Well, turn it so you can blow the snow off my car.
Yeah, it's that switch over, so we should be good. As soon as I took the brakes off, okay, restart check. Oh, maybe I didn't turn the restart on.
Uh-oh. Yeah, she's supposed to turn on again.
All right, so once it cools down, we'll start it up again.
Really powerful. You're starting to move there a little bit.
Yeah. Well, I had the brakes on, right?
Yeah.
So as soon as I took the brakes off, I was like, whoa, it's actually started pushing me back.
Yeah, that or your floor's too polished. Ah, the smell of turbine. Hello, Nick.
Restart mode manual, auto. There we go.
David wants to know, please throttle curve to half expo.
Done. That was one of the changes I make right away, because the engines come set to full expo, and we change it to half expo. Okay, so we need to power cycle the engine.
And Nick says it seems to be clearing the snow fine.
Oh yeah.
And David says thank you.
Brrr. There we go.
At least you don't have to blow the fan on to cool her down.
Yeah. Okay, burner on. Now it's restarting again.
Hello, Nick. Okay, another startup again happening, boys and girls. Everybody's quiet. They're not saying anything. They're just
They're all listening.
on the edge of their seat. Russell's not here today.
Woo!
Nice. Nice. Can't complain about that one.
Brr.
And that's why we don't fly in the winter.
That's why I'm going to Arizona in a week.
That is nice.
All right, so it's crazy cold outside, but the engine ran absolutely awesome. The first restart I tried to do, I had the restart mode set to manual, and I needed to put it to auto. So I did the auto thing on the second one, and that's why we did the second run and restart. Everything worked awesome. Engine runs beautiful. It's going to be a great combination for this airframe. I think it's probably, the 190 is a really good size for the Rebel Pro, but it had tons of power. There was one point there where I was at full throttle, took the brakes off, and the plane started pushing me across the floor. It was pretty mind-blowing. So anyways, it's just cooling down right now.
Okay. David says if you like the X95, you will have a pair of X240s after Tucson. For the Sukhoi,
Yeah,
that's what Russell asked for the Sukhoi.
for the F-230
Yeah.
and the F-14.
And Ron Wendell, would you consider this jet to be a skill level of a third or fourth jet?
I would say a skill level of a first jet. The Rebels are very easy to fly, guys. They are an insanely easy plane to fly. So if you're, if you've already got 3 or 4 jets and you're looking at a third or fourth jet, absolutely. Okay, so
And David says those 240 for the SU first, and then the
then the F-14.
the F-14.
Cool, so everything worked good. Yeah, basically the only things left that we need to do are tie wire those 2 fuel connections, mount our antennas, right? We need to do that. And a little bit of programming on stuff like elevator compensations, but that's awesome. Everything worked out really well. really well.
Velocity wants to know, is it louder than other jets? I would say, no, it's the same as all the other jets. I don't
Yeah.
find any difference in the sound, really. They're all loud.
You'll find, so there are slight differences. So I categorize it as 3 different categories. A fully bypassed jet like the Super Bandit here, a Carf Ultra Flash, anything with a full bypass, usually is quite quiet. And I find that would be like quiet level number 1. Then you kind of have your typical setup where you've got just an open engine and fuselage. Quiet level number 2 being louder. With my Super Elan over there, which is the orange plane, 2 up, or the second one from the bottom, because that turbine is right at the back and there's no tailpipe, it is really loud. So those are kind of the 3 different levels that I find exist. So, all right, well, that's good.
Okay, and Audra says, so when she was in the military, they had these questions called stump and dumby questions. The question of the day, what temp is F and C the absolute same temperature?
Minus 40?
Yep.
Us Canadians know that stuff.
We have to.
Because, yeah, we have to.
Most of the times you just stick your hand out the window, that's how cold it is.
Especially when you're doing videos, it's like everything's got to be in imperial and metric. Celsius, Fahrenheit.
And Velocity says it seems louder than any other test you've seen you do. It could be because of the cold too.
Yeah, the cold, that's actually a good point too. The cold, I think it's probably the cold would be it. I mean, it's really cold outside right now, so I'm happy that we have a nice warm shop to be in.
Yeah, take a while to get back up to the temperature.
Yeah.
David, here,
I'm going
ask
to take
something.
my hoodie off here. And now it's going to stink in the shop for the next couple days. Brr.
Okay, I gotta find that thing that David asked.
Why is your cheaty printer on the floor? Oh, that's a good one. Good question, Joe. Well, here, I got to do this.
Okay.
So my Cheaty X Max 3 is here. And the reason it's here is because something else is sitting in its place. Unfortunately, with the stuff that I signed, I'm not able to show you the model of this one, but I tell you, I got it yesterday. I've been printing with it for a little bit, and it is stinking awesome. And stinking awesome being a good awesome. So you'll find out more about it later this month. Or if you message me, Joe, I can tell you. Oops. Mike, thank you. Ward, you're supposed to remind me of that stuff.
Well, you just took it off.
Let's try that again. So the reason that my Cheaty X Max 3 is on the floor is because it got replaced by something from the same company. And I can show you, well, I guess you already saw it, but I can't show you the name of the printer, but I think they're releasing it March 20th, I believe. And I just got it yesterday, but I'm super impressed with it. It is absolutely awesome. Yeah. Is the mic working now? It should be working now. I'm assuming it's working now because I'm wearing it before it was sitting on the table. So
You're flashing there.
let's see. Looks like
I didn't catch the thing. David asked something to be done, but I didn't catch it. So
the Pro is easier to fly than the Classic. Yes, because it's a bigger aircraft for sure. Ward, I can show you how to make this work really easy. Because you seem to struggle with it.
well,
a fair bit.
it goes away on me faster
know, but here.
than I can.
If you hold your finger down and just keep moving,
Okay,
right?
because I take my finger off of it and it disappears on me. And I'm like, I'm
Yeah, but
halfway
if you
through
just
reading
if you
it.
just hold your finger down, then it's super easy.
Okay.
Okay. So, anyways, we need to put this plane back on the stand.
Okay.
So let's do that. If you want to grab the tail end, I will grab the stand. Just need to be mindful of the chair. All the stuff everywhere. We'll use this one. I got it. Yes, nothing like the smell of Jet A in the evening. Now that's all the shop smells like. And Power Model oil, because it smells kind of minty fresh. Okay, so we're just going to lift it straight up, and then I'm going to slide the stand underneath.
Okay, and go.
Should be good there.
Yep.
Yes, as the norm, the bigger the plane, the easier it is to fly. That's pretty much always the norm. Unfortunately, the bigger the plane, the more expensive they get. That's also a downside as well, too. Sheldon, you're asking about to replace the non-electron controller for JP or such. That's something that we do in our Rebels as well. So the Rebel Classic, we put a LGC22, the Zyko LGC22 in there versus the JP controller. It works better, gives you more control. The brakes work better with it as well. So, all right, let's mount some antennas.
Flip that around.
You got the camera again.
Yep.
Flip that guy around. Whoa, shaky. Sorry for the
And you
earthquake.
complain about me.
Just while I'm adjusting it. Okay, so batteries all worked out good. We'll do our final weigh once everything's done, so that'll be kind of tomorrow. What we're going to do is mount our antennas for our receivers. So we've got 2 sets of antennas. There we go. Perfect.
Michael.
Okay, so that worked out good. I'm happy, everything worked well. It's always a good thing.
Sean says, let me see here. Come on, don't go away on me.
You just
Yeah.
like that.
I was trying to get to read before I can read it because it started disappearing on me.
All good.
Yep.
Okay, so I need my little antenna holders. The other thing with the Rebel Pro here is I know Russell, I don't know if you're still on Russell, but Russell was always having a really difficult time with his front fasteners. So this plane uses these guys right here to screw the wings on. Back ones obviously are easy to get to, they're right back here. Front ones, they would be an absolute nightmare to get from this direction. So what I was doing is, on this plane, it's pretty easy to get in here, but I think Russell was having the problem with the bigger fuel tank. But I guess it depends on how you lay things out. So that one's done up. That took like 10 seconds. I can't do this one very well because my hand, but they're pretty easy to access through the front here. But again, it depends on how you have your equipment laid out. I made sure that we put our UAT right in the center, and all of our wiring was kind of tucked up out of the way, so we had a clear path to get to those, the wing bolts.
Now we're going to do the... And Russell says his big hands, that's his problem.
Yes.
And me with my sausage fingers.
Oh, I already pulled those guys out too. No, look. I pulled those guys out there in the tray.
Yeah, I put them in the tray for you because you...
No, there was already 4 in the tray because I pulled all that stuff out previously, right? Same thing with these guys. Okay, so we got our second receiver, which is going to be set up as a clone. Right now it's set up as a dual path system.
Velocity says the JP controller is crap lately. They need to update it. Forced to buy a AG68 with a DS3 for the doors.
Yeah, I've been fairly fortunate on my, like I haven't had a ton of planes with them, the JP controllers, so I've been fairly fortunate, but the JP controller on my Super Elan, it's got the two controllers, so one for brakes, one for the gear. That one seems to be working well. I find with the JP controllers, they're kind of, if they're gonna have a problem, they generally have a problem fairly quick. And if you're not gonna have a problem, they're usually pretty rock solid. I feel like I should have printed these things out of different material. Third try is a charm. There we go. Those other ones must have been old ones. Okay, so first antenna for that guy is going here.
Russell says he probably will stay with a carve tank instead next time. Or he can get to his, I think it's for his wings.
Yeah, just the same thing I was just talking about there. The Rebel Pro is, unfortunately, the design too, like it's not very forgiving. If you put anything down there, it's going to be a nightmare to get to. So. Okay, so that's number one, is right there. Number two, we're going to run up and down.
So the LGC22 or the LGC15 to help eliminate the slide slip I'm having when braking. Big difference in price. Got order JP units in 2 of my jets with 0 issues. From Victor.
Yeah, like I said, some of them seem to be totally fine, and some of them have issues. Like the PC21 I did a few years ago, the Sebart one. That one has had like non-stop issues with the JP controller. But it seems like this last batch that the owner put in about a year ago seems to be working fine, so I don't know. Luck of the draw, maybe. Okay, so I want that to be sitting like that.
Let's go back here.
So who on the live chat is coming to Tucson? Who are we going to see in Tucson at Tucson Jets? Who is coming? I know David's coming. Victor, are you coming to Tucson?
Is it worth getting the LGC15 or the LGC22 to work at eliminating side slip?
Depending on what functions you're going to be using. So if you want the brake assist, then I think that's the LGC22, whatever one has the screen, the same as this one. It is helpful.
And David said he's going to be at Tucson.
I know.
Mark says he will be there.
Nice.
And David says he has 10 LA friends coming to Tucson.
Awesome. I think it's going to be a really fun event. It's going to be very well attended, I think. I know a bunch of people that have been emailing me and chatting with me are coming, and I'm looking forward to meeting a ton of people too. It's one of the highlights of the events. I mean, number one, I'm looking forward to flying at the event, because a lot of times when I fly into an event,
Victor
I don't get
says
to
he doesn't
fly.
know yet. His van is in the dealership.
Yeah.
He says, hope it doesn't break his bank. Russell says you need a live stream there from there, maybe.
Yeah, well, I'll be driving back on the 2 Saturdays from today, so we'll see how things work out. I might live stream on the Friday of the event, and some of it depends on cell phone coverage too. Okay, so we have one antenna this way, one antenna that way, one antenna that way. We're covered.
Coco and Dave will be starting to drive at 3 a.m. and be there by 10.
Oh my gosh.
Mark says he's going for the furthest distance traveled.
What is it, Mark? How many kilometers? Because our drive is 2,500 kilometers. So 1,000 kilometers is 600 miles. So that's 12, 13, 14, 1,500 miles.
He's booked off for Montana.
Nice.
Chad has booked off for Montana.
I'm trying to figure out where the heck to put the second receiver because I don't want it to be visible, or the second antenna. It's got to be hidden, Bluetooth style.
Mark says it's 40 hours if he drives from Massachusetts.
Oh my gosh.
Ew.
That is far. Our drive's 25 hours. You win.
Yeah, but he's probably
Holy.
only doing it like at 10 miles an hour or something like that, maybe. I don't know.
Wow. That's 40 hours. That's a drive. My goodness.
That distance, he better have a plane in the air every minute of the day.
Yeah.
But Mark says he's flying, though. Oh,
Okay, so we're going to go right there.
Victor's 8 hours from LA to Tucson.
Yeah, our first day we're leaving Saturday morning next weekend. And our first day we're driving 1,000 miles, so like pulling the trailer, it's probably going to be 12 hours. So that's our plan for day number 1. And then day number 2, it's 500 miles. Day number 3 is 500 miles.
Nick said he would be the longest, but the Pacific Ocean makes driving a bit problematic.
Yeah.
No kidding, Nick.
Get your paddle out.
Just hook the engines up to the boat and pull, let her go.
Antenna mounted.
And Ron Summerud will drive from Melbourne, Florida. in 4
Yeah,
days.
Ron's got a long drive too.
4-day drive from Melbourne, Florida.
Driving jet van number 2. All right, so we got to wire tie those 2 fittings on the fuel pump and do some final programming, and she's done.
Not bad.
Not bad, not bad. Now we just got another Rebel to build.
Yeah. Russell asked, how's the eyes, Ron?
Yeah, Ron just had surgery, that's why he's asking.
Oh, okay.
So those wires, I want to tuck those out of the way too. I'll be back in a moment. Need to get some more wires up and out of the way.
And Nick says his snorkel on the Land Rover is not long enough. Plus, you'd have to switch sides of the car to drive in North America because they're always on the wrong side of the street.
All right, so let's tuck that up out of the way. Nice. There we go. That's better. Love it. Ward, no yawning. I saw that.
No, you didn't.
I saw that.
I was just breathing in better.
Okay, wire tie time. or safety wire time, whatever you want to
Right
call it. I need my other clippers. Oh, they're over there. Man, I got Jet A in my lungs now.
Yeah.
I sound like a smoker.
Gromito said he'll be at the Joe Knoll this year.
That's Kyle. Gromit. Yep.
Kyle? Okay. Oh, hi, Kyle. Sorry.
Or do you know who he is?
Yeah, I know. Hope the BDX is ready by then.
You betcha.
Okay, now that I know who Kyle
Ward
is.
doesn't know all the nicknames. So.
Yeah, sorry, people. And David says you and him are considering the Joe Nile.
Yes, we are. We're considering going to Joe Knoll. That would be super cool.
Yeah, Nick says the Rebel paint job looks as fast as the Bandit.
It's
know,
yeah, they did
nothing looks like it.
a really nice job on the paint.
Oh, yes.
The scheme is really cool. It's very nice.
Looks fast sitting there on the table.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah, I think this is going to be really visible in the sky, the layout of it and everything, and then the underside being all dark like it is going to be pretty cool. Oh, and I just remembered one more thing we have to get done. We have to get the placard installed.
oh, yes.
That's an important one.
Where are they?
Oh, I'll grab them. I don't know what color I'm going to use yet.
Should we ask David what color he wants it to be?
Nope.
Okay, you don't have to. Kenneth says Joe Knoll is on his home state, so.
Yeah, Joe Knoll's been on my bucket list for a long time. It's one of those events, kind of like Kentucky Jets when I went 2 years ago. It's just such a big event. And obviously we basically go there just to hang out and meet people. And
Stacy, we'll show you your planes in a short. Stacy's asking to show his Rebel. And Arnold said, what kind of flight time do you expect with the 195 Bandit?
I can't remember the fuel capacity in there. David, do you remember the fuel capacity for the Bandit? I think it was somewhere around 4 liters, I believe.
3,500?
Who said that, David?
David.
Yeah, so 3,500 milliliters. I don't know what that engine uses at full throttle, but if, let's say it uses at full throttle, which that plane is going to be stupid at full throttle, let's say it uses 750 milliliters. So you're basically flying probably 7 minutes, I would say.
David says 6 minutes, depends on throttle control.
Yeah, exactly. So
And he says he noticed that the Rebel sticker is removed.
the Rebel sticker is removed.
Excellent.
Yeah, it was, I think in the first video it was there, and I couldn't stand it anymore. It was, I didn't like it, so it's gone.
You did like the Rebel?
The Rebel sticker? No, I did not like it.
You
All
know,
right,
I just realized that too.
we got choices to make. Gray,
Okay.
that looks pretty good. Oh, I know which one I would pick. Yes, the Bandit will be in the 199.9999 club for sure. Which one? Black?
Hey, David, what do you think?
Gray.
Great.
You like the gray?
I like
Oh,
the
do
gray,
you?
yeah.
I like the black because it contrasts so much, but the gray looks nice.
I think the black stands out too much. Eh? Just that the gray sort of goes in.
A little bit more subdued.
Yeah, Jonathan's choice.
All right.
All right, we'll
See,
leave it up
that's
to
why I
Jonathan.
told you.
Yeah. Come on, David, learn to make a decision here. Walter Media says black,
Oh,
obviously. David says gray. Sheldon Campbell says gray.
Well, we're doing the gray one.
Okay, the gray one it is because that's the outvoted one. Russell says gray. Arnold says black. David says, yay!
There we go. Need some goop.
Echo Smoke says purple.
Purple.
Victor says blue. Sorry, we only have those two choices.
Blue would be nice. Actually, blue could work as a background too.
Yeah.
Because it's more about the colors that contrast, obviously.
How Jonathan works, you can have any color, but as long as it's the colors that he has there. Renegade says pink. Chad says pink.
Have you guys seen the scheme for my BDX? Oh, baby.
And Nick says matches the fingerprints. Needs to polish.
Yeah. Well, when I finished the wings yesterday, yesterday was all the wings. So I finished the wings yesterday. They were just filthy. Cleaned them all up. And then, of course, you take the wings back out and you're messing around with them. And they get pretty nasty looking pretty quick.
When we go put it away for shipping, we'll polish it all up. And Mark says he saw the BDX pictures.
Thank you. What'd you think?
David also says super cool for it.
Yeah, there was pretty, seemed like there was pretty good response for the scheme, so.
Sheldon says he doesn't have a Rebel sticker on his Max, but I do have the word Rebel on the bottom of the wings.
Yeah, this one, if you watch the video today, it had the Rebel sticker. It was actually kind of a neat vinyl because it was multiple layers. They did like the blue layer first, and then they did like a smaller layer and then another layer over top. So as I was peeling it up, it was actually multiple layers, but it didn't really fit with the scheme.
David says yours is going to need the X20.
My what?
Your plane there is going to need an X20. That's your... Because the DBX is super cool.
X240.
240, sorry. I got to learn to read too, eh?
Yeah, Ward's just learning.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 240 would be perfect in the BDX.
Victor says he hates it. What did you hate? He doesn't like the color scheme?
Probably doesn't like my pink color scheme.
Aw.
It's too manly for you, Victor. There we go. All right, a little bit of programming left.
Okay, I'm going to show David his. There you go, David. It looks super cool.
Very nice, very nice. All right, so, wow, that's cool. I got to video that too.
Oops. Nick's not saying his usual. John.
Yeah, reminding
Dig it
me.
up, John.
Don't forget the video. Okay, so, all right, so we got the Rebel Pro back up on the stand here. Did a little bit of cleaning up with the wiring, just added some more Velcro on the inside, just tuck the wires up and out of the way. Safety wired our fittings going onto the fuel pump. Those were on our to-do list. And the very last thing, other than programming, is to add our placard there. So that turned out awesome. We've got a little bit of programming left to do in the radio, like elevator to flap compensation, just checking our travels on the surfaces, but she is essentially complete.
Now Nick says, vid, John, vid.
Thanks, Nick.
Velocity says, go easy on me. It's my second language. David goes, where are all the equipment?
It's Bluetooth. You just use your phone. Fly it with your phone. Just go like this in the sky.
Sit in your car.
Yeah. Okay, so I need a battery for that guy. Hopefully that comes out. It does. There we go. Got to go take a walk around Stacy's Rebel there while I'm
Okay.
taking fuel out.
Yeah, take some fuel out. So, Stacy, are you still there? Here's your Rebel.
So that's next on the docket. That basically starts tonight and tomorrow. The goal is to get, we've already got some of the work already done on it, so the goal is to get it wrapped up in the next couple days. I mean, I'd love to say I'm going to complete it tomorrow, but it won't be done tomorrow. It takes about 40 hours to do the Rebel, start to finish, so we probably have about 8 hours into it already with the various components and stuff that are in there. But yeah, it should be pretty quick build like normal. We'll have it done for leaving on next Saturday. But she's beauty. I love the metal flake in here. This is the same silver that's on the Rebel Pro that we have there with the little lines. But it is such a beautiful plane. The scheme is really nice. Love the orange, love the silver.
But it has Rebel written on it.
It does, yes.
Yes. And Mr. Weber says, did you do anything special to make it easy to align and fit the large Rebel canopy? On his Rebel, aligning the canopy is the most difficult part of the flight.
On this one, it goes together very simple. The only challenge is before you put the front screw in, there's a fair bit of movement side to side with the front screw. So what I have gotten in the habit of doing is putting the canopy on, holding it in place, just making sure you're centered, and then putting the bolt through. But otherwise, it seems to line up quite well. I actually find this canopy goes on easier than my Rebel Classic. The Rebel Classic has, I think, 2 more sets of hooks on it. Yeah, so it's got 8 sets of hooks or whatever on it. So it's a bit of a challenge, actually.
Dave says they'll have a great time with the Rebels at Tucson.
Yeah, it'll be a Rebel party. It is going to be fun.
Arnold said his Rebel is a classic.
Nice. Yeah, the Classic is definitely a challenge. The one thing I did on all of our Rebels that we're doing is we took the pin out, the stick from the front. There's a pitot tube in the nose, and we put a hatch latch on the canopy. So it's a different system. If you watch the Voodoo build, I covered in there what we did. So we took a liter out of fuel when we were getting ready to run it. We just took out 2.5 liters of fuel probably. So 3.5, so whatever's left over, 1.2 is what we burned during that test run.
And Sheldon says on his Rebel Max, he very lightly sanded the hooks on the sides because it was hard to get on, and it helped out a lot.
Yeah. Oh, maybe we're taking 3 liters out.
So that test run burnt off.
Well, I took a liter out. We probably have 3 here, so basically it burned off 700 milliliters.
With all that?
That actually is not very much.
Yeah, that's quite a little amount. Your fly time should be pretty good.
We're still pulling fuel out. We're at 3.1. There we go. 3.2 liters. 3.3. There we go. Now we're empty. 3.3, call it that. Wow.
Nick says it's a shame the band is going to scream through them with extreme prejudice.
Yeah. And lap them over and over and over again.
So that was how many?
Well, we took 3.3 liters out. I took a liter out. We had a little bit in the overflow tank, so but I took a liter out. So let's say we put 5 liters in there. Took 3.3 out, took 1 liter out before we ran it, so that's 4.3. So yeah, we used 700-ish milliliters during that test run, which was really good.
Yeah, that's really good. It's like, wow.
Very nice.
Be able to go up there and stay up there for a long time.
All righty.
So what's left on it?
A little bit of programming and she's done. So we'll do that. Keep that battery in the nose for ballast. Yeah, so we've checked our surfaces. We did that previously before we started the live. Flaps are programmed. We did that before we started the live.
You did the wire ties?
Yeah. Safety wire is done. Yeah, we'll just go over everything again.
Actually, this was showing this with that person that asked about the radios, which is a better one, and that's something which for somebody who wants to start off. So this will show him what.
Well, yeah, I can only show so much, but basically, there's 2 Jetty radios out there right now that I would recommend: the DS24 or the DS16 G2. The DS16 G2 is an amazing radio. You get basically all the functionality of the DS24. You're just lacking the stuff on the back. I had a guy email me yesterday saying, he messaged me yesterday. He was asking some questions, and he basically made the decision on getting a Jetty radio. I don't know which model he's going to get, but.
David says, can you add a delay in lights so they come on when the gear is fully deployed?
Yes, you betcha.
He doesn't want them coming on while they're coming down.
No problem. We have that ability with Jetty. So what we can do, plug that guy in. It's up on the stand, so it doesn't matter. We need to move it over a little bit so the gear can cycle.
Which one is going to hit? That one.
We'll just slide towards me a little bit. That'll work.
Should.
Turn the plane on. Let's see what we can figure out here.
Okay, I'm going to pull it back a little bit so I can see you sitting down and get the whole plane in it.
There we go. There, now it's silent.
Don't say anything.
Huh?
Well, I was going to say, you said it's only going to be 60 minutes and you're at 90 minutes already. Ha!
Oh, dang it. Who said that?
That's Sheldon,
No.
the troublemaker.
I know.
David
So
said sweet on the light system changes.
let's go.
We'll go for the full 2 hours, Sheldon, so don't worry about that. He can't stop. You want me to hold it?
Come on, quiet up. So our light switch is there. Gear up.
There, got you. Got you.
Okay, that's the wrong one. Try that. Let's see here. So lights are off on the gear. Gear down. And lights are coming on now. There we go.
I think he wants them on when it's
Oh,
fully
I can't
down.
see anymore.
I think he wants them on when they're fully down,
Yeah, got
not
it.
as they're lowering.
Can't see. Okay, gear switch down. And lights on.
Perfect. I think that's good. What do you think, David?
Cool, cool. There, now it'll be quiet.
That's quieter.
Okay, so I can't see anything.
David says terrific and fabulous.
Blinded by spots. It's a lot of rudder.
I got the entire plane in there. And Nick says, nice, amazing what you can program these days.
Yeah, just like that. Super easy. And I just did it the simple way. I just went in and added a servo delay on one direction of the servo. You could go in and you could set up conditions, you could set up logic switches if you really wanted to, but I just did it the simple way. Yeah, logic switch would be easy as well too. Okay, so let's do our travel here. So, okay, so let's refer to our manual. And that's not the person, that's the paper thing. Still can't see.
Want me to read it for you?
Everywhere I look, there's spots. Okay, reach max deflection. So rudder is 50 to 60 millimeters. So that's step number one. Okay, I think I did the programming already on it, but we'll see. Okay, so 50 to 60 millimeters, we're centered. Yeah. So we're getting about 62 right now. So we'll drop that down to 70%, 60, and 60.
Thanks, Nick. I figured I'll get the whole plane inside the screenshot and you can walk around it and watch him do everything.
So basically when I'm doing the programming like this, the way we've got things set up on Jetty is we've got different flight modes. I'll bring my radio over there and I'll show you guys exactly what I'm talking about. Okay, so that's done. I'll try and get the screen in here is my goal, so I'm just going to open this guy up. Sorry about the vibrations, guys. And there we go. Hopefully that works. No reflection, there we go. Okay, so we've got 3 different flight modes, and our flight modes are tied to our flap switch, I guess, if you want to look at it that way. So that's flaps off, takeoff flaps, landing flaps. So we've got our rates on the rudder right now all set up the same. So we've got 70% travel, 30% expo. Now the one thing that we need to add in here is gyro on off. Okay, that's also applicable in this setup. So I'm going to go into the programming. So right now we've got 70 and 30. We're going to add our gyro switch. So I want to reverse that. So that's gyro off. And when I go gyro on, it goes to 100 and 0%. So we got to adjust this in all of our conditions to be the same. So what we generally do though is with our gyro in the on position, we want to have less expo than gyro off. So gyro on will go 25%. Gyro off, we're going to go 35%. The goal there is, so when you go gyro on, the gyro always adds expo automatically. When you go gyro off, it takes away that expo, and you want to try and make the plane feel as similar as possible. So now we've got 70 and 35, 70 and 25. So we'll go to takeoff flaps. We're at 70 and 30. We'll just change that to 35. We're going to add a switch. There's our gyro switch.
David S. says gyro has a dampening effect.
Yes.
And Nick says modes me, you don't have to do much thinking, basically is what he said.
So gyro on. Here we go. So we got gyro on, gyro off. So gyro on, we're going to go 70%. So our travel's always the same on all these guys. We just have less expo when the gyro is on. Okay, so 70, 35. Now we'll go to takeoff flap or landing flaps. So we're at 70 and 30. We'll go 35. Switch. Gyro's on. That's okay. And we'll set up the same thing here. Now I'm going to review all this with you in a second. So now we've got 70 and 25. Okay, so we're in landing flap mode and gyro is on. Gyro off, 70 and 35. Takeoff flaps, gyro off, 70, 35. Gyro on, 70 and 25. Regular flying, 70 and 25. Gyro on, gyro off, 70 and 35. So that's the different flight conditions we want to have set up. So now our rudder is 100% programmed.
Here we go.
Okay, so now we're going to do the elevators. What's our elevator travel supposed to be? Okay, so elevators, you're about 30, 35 millimeters. I think we're there already, but we'll check. Okay, we got a bit of centering to do because I never did that yet. So model. Okay. That's good on that one.
David's got to go. Says thanks so much, Jonathan. The Rebel Pro looks amazing.
Thank you, David. There we go. Okay.
Also wants to know where the CG, middle of the tube?
Back of the wing tube. Exactly where it should be. So we'll be back of the wing tube, no weight added to the nose, 0 weight added to the nose. We've got a 5,000 milliamp 3-cell powering the turbine and light system. We've got two 2-cell 5,000 milliamps powering the central box and the landing gear, the GS200 controller. What's our elevator supposed to be? It says on that first page there. 30 to 35.
Yeah, 30 to 35 mil, and servos traveling 100%.
Okay. Fine tuning, rates expo, elevator. All right, let's see what we got here. Whew, way too much. Like a million. 50 millimeters of travel. That's awesome. Okay, so we'll go down to 70. Oh, that's getting closer. Okay, so that's 35 positive, 35 negative. Perfect. Check the other side. So positive, we're 35, negative, 35. So one thing I like to do as well when I'm doing these guys, and you could get all technical here and use the angle finders and stuff that you can mount on the surfaces, but I find my eyes work really well. So right now we've got one servo traveling too far. So what I'll do is I'm going to go into that servo and adjust the limits of the servo. Now why this is important is because right now if you went full forward elevator and one is traveling more than the other, it makes your plane do funny things. Okay, so I'm going to increase the other one so it matches. There we go. So now we should have 35 millimeters of travel. Bang on. My eyes are telling me that that is correct. And up. That looks to be correct. Nice. And these are the fine things that you're adjusting when you're doing your first flights on a plane. So I talk about this quite often during my maidens and such, where I'm constantly adjusting things for the first 10 to 15 flights, and it's all those fine little details. You should really be adjusting something every single flight when you come down. During your flight, if you thought, my plane feels like it's doing this, well, you can do stuff in your radio to compensate for those things. So that's when you should be adjusting things and making it feel better.
And Nick says, sweet the way the digital servo it can individually be programmed.
Yeah, it really is, for sure. I mean, what I did here was I went in and I adjusted the travel in our dual rate menu because we're using the 3 different flight modes. Not that we have a rate switch signed up, we just have one rate on the plane, essentially. And then I went in and increased that servo travel just a little bit, about 10%, to match up to the other servo. So now, if we decrease those dual rates to reduce the travel, everything feels the same. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is do that exact same thing with all those flight modes.
Good night, Stacy.
On our elevator setup. So
Want to get this back down into that?
I don't know. Wouldn't worry about it so much. It's not really overly exciting stuff, but we've got 65 and 30%. So we'll do the same thing with gyro off. So we're going to add 35%. That's at mid flaps. So then we're going to add a switch. Gyro's on. And then we want to go 65 so it matches. And 25%, positive expo. So gyro off, 35 and 65, gyro on, 25 and 65. Now we want to go to that configuration. We're going to go 65 and 35. And then we're going to add our gyro off switch. And 65. And 25. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go into our flap menu and I'm going to adjust that buzzing flap a little bit. So we're going to go fine tuning, butterfly flaps, flaps adjustment. There we go. And I think it's the right flap. And just a 1% too tight. So because I always go left to right, I know that S1 is left, S2 is right. We're going to hit the symmetrical button. There we go, 1%. So now it doesn't buzz like a maniac. Yeah. Much better, eh?
Very annoying.
Yeah, it is. Okay, so now we go back to our elevators. So we've got that one done, landing flaps. So we're going to go 65. Oops. I had the symmetrical turned off. So 65 and
25.
35. And then we're going to add our flap. Switch, reverse that. So 35 with flaps off, gyro off, gyro on. We're going to go 65 and 25.
And Nick says, just for last, you're going to need some vids on the way to Tucson.
Yeah, for sure. I was thinking about that.
Put the camera on the dash.
Yeah. All right, so just to confirm all this, we're in full flat position. We've got 65 and 25 with gyro on, gyro off, 65, 35. Take landing flap, 65, 35, gyro off, 65, 25. Regular flight mode, 65, 25, 65, 35. So now that stuff is done. So our rudder is finished, our elevator is finished. Last thing is ailerons. Ailerons I've already done, but we will wrap those things up as well too. Okay, so aileron travel. Keep the max aileron throw at 30 to 35 millimeters. So we'll adjust that. I think that's a lot of travel for this size plane, but we'll go there to begin with. Okay, so we're even Steven on our ailerons. So I think I've already got this programmed. So we're 20 down, 35 up. Let's see what's going on here. So yeah, same thing. We're 20 down, 35 up. So let's check the manual and see what it says. Doesn't really say anything. Thank you, sir. Oh yeah, the reason I have that maxed out there is because our part of the mysteries of plane programming. Okay, so we're at 60%. All right, so we may need to do a little bit of adjustment on those arms to get our proper travel. So anyways, we'll save that for not on the live time. All right, guys, you got a couple minutes left here, and then we are shutting the live down. So if you have any final questions, ask away.
Russell says, try 30 millimeter up to 30 millimeter down, up and down.
Yeah, that's pretty much what we're going to be shooting for.
He's rolled very quick with that.
Yeah, I think it's way too much myself. So, like 30 mils on an aileron is a ton. So, yeah, that's a lot of surface movement.
And maybe take off 5?
Huh?
Maybe take off 5 mil?
Well, I don't know.
I guess that'd be pilot choice, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Depends on what the pilot wants it to feel like, right?
Yeah.
So, all right.
Russell said, okay, 25 mil.
Shut down the model. Shut that down. No final questions? No final questions? Going once, going twice. All right, guys. Well, that wraps up our live. Oh, we got one
Mark
more.
says, see you in
See you in Tucson.
Arriving on Wednesday, the 13th.
Awesome.
Saw your logo.
As a sponsor for Highland Jets, I'm hoping to make it there in July. Yes, thank you. Thanks, guys, for watching. We will see you if you're coming to Tucson. We will see you in Tucson. I'm going to be showing up, I think, at the field on the 12th, the morning of the 12th, if everything goes well. And it's going to be tons of fun. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments or questions, shoot me an email, thelightersideofrc@gmail.com. If you're interested in our in-person course that I talked about earlier in the live, shoot me an email and I'll add you to the list. Thanks, guys, and we'll see you in a couple weeks.
And X out.